السلام عليكم دكيري دكيريتيا دك إثيوبيا دك تግራይ كلهم كما لهم peace prize ናይ ኖብል peace prize ንኦባማ ክህቦ ከለዉ ሰላም ከም ዘለዎ ስለ ዝተኣማመኑ ጥራሕ peace prize ኖብል peace prize ማንዴላን ሲሰጡት ሰላም እንደሚያመጣ የታወቀ ነው። በነጮችና በጥቁሮች መሃል ደም ነበር የሚያደርገው አይደለም። እንደዚሁ አጼነት ቢፈልግ ነው ሰላም ኦባማን ሲሰጡት የሰላም ምንድን ነው የሚባለው ኖብል ፕራይዝ ለቀልድ እኮ አይደለም። ለቀልድ ኖብል ፕራይዝ ተዋሂብዎ ኦባማ ከሪኦ ክኽእል ኣሎ እቲ ኖብል ፕራይዝ ዝተዋህበ ናይ ሰላም ማንዴላ ድማ አርኢዎ ተበኪሱ ገይረ ኢትዮጵያኖች ኤሪትሪያንስ አብይ ጥፋት ውስጥ ከመግባቱ በፊት ይህንን የኦባማ ሜሴጅ እንዲሰማ እጋብዛችኋለሁ። ሁላችሁንም ንኩልኩም ናይ ኦባማ ኣብዝለኩም እምበር ኣብዚ ሕጂ ናይ ፓለስቲንያን ኢሹስ እንታይ ኢሉ ከም ዝተዛረበ it's just all about making peace in this life man. It's all about making life easier for both directions of contradictions. The Israelis have the right to live in their land in Israel. So do the Palestinians. They can do it peacefully. They can do it peacefully. They just have to put their hearts together. Listen, gentlemen, what did Obama say on this account?
Conflict has intensified in recent days. A viral video featuring former U.S. President Barack Obama has been making headlines on several social media platforms. In the speech, which was monitored by the New African Channel, Barack Obama advised Israelis to look at the world through the eyes of Palestinians and to recognize that neither occupation nor expulsion is the answer. He emphasized that just as Israelis built a state in their homeland, Palestinians have a right to be a free people in their own land. Furthermore, Obama encouraged both Israelis and Palestinians to work on the peace process to enhance security and improve the economies of both parties.
Well, what we need in East Africa is working together to achieve peace, everlasting peace, not going for war. We have to learn from the destructive war going on in the Middle East, ladies and gentlemen. Let peace prosper around the world. Salam ክነግስ ክኽእል ኣሎ ተመሊስና ኣብቲ ናይ ፓለስቲንያንስ ናይ ጋዛ ጦርነት ካብኡ ክንመሃር ንኽእል ሰላም ምግባር ጥራሕ ሰላም ንህዝቢ እስራኤል ሰላም ንህዝቢ ፓለስቲን peace to the peoples of the Palestinian people and the Jewish people. They have to coexist peacefully, and we encourage that. Minus terrorism, minus fighting, minus war. And we actually expect Dr. Abiy to respect the ingredients of peace, the advantage of brotherhood in East Africa. So we don't have to fight war any longer. እምበር ኦባማ ድማ ዝዛረቦ ዘሎ ናይ ፒስ ዓብይ ክሰምዖ እሞ ንኽርድኦ ዝህል ንኽብል ኢትዮጵያውያን ድማ ንኽርድኣኩም ኢና ምፂና
Here are excerpts of the speech.
It is not fair that a Palestinian child cannot grow up in a state of their own.
It's not fair the Ethiopian child cannot grow up on their own. Equally treating each other as brothers and sisters. It's not fair to see an abandoned Ethiopian or Eritrean, basically. ካብዚኣቶም ቆልዓ ኩሉ ኣብ ትግራይ ይኹን ኣብ ኣስመራ ይኹን ኣብ ትግራይ ይኹን ኣብ ኦሮሞ ክመሃር ኢና ክነበራታት ዘለና ፌር ኣይኮነን ቆልዑ ከይተምሃሩ ክተርፉ ከለዉ ኣሎ ሰብኣይ
Living their entire lives with the presence of a foreign army that controls the movements, not just of those young people, but their parents, their grandparents, every single day.
We Eritreans cannot afford to live being hostages of psychological entrapment with our brothers and sisters Ethiopians.
It's not just when settler violence against Palestinians goes unpunished.
I don't think it's just for Ethiopia to violate our rights and cause insecurities and problems in the borders with Eritrea.
It's not right to prevent Palestinians from farming their lands or restricting a student's ability to move around the West Bank or displace Palestinian families from their homes.
Most people have no clue that
Yeah. Fair ahonen man, fair ahonen. ሓደ ቆልዓ እንዳተባህረ ብዚ ሓደ ኣብዚ ኖ ክበሃል መሬቱ ክወስድ እዚ ክሓርስ እቲ እምቢ ክበሃል እንዳተጣማመጥካ ሕዱድ እንዳጠሓስካ ናተይ ክበሃል ፌር ኣኾነ ladies and gentlemen, fair.
Neither occupation nor expulsion is the answer. Just as Israelis built a state in their homeland, Palestinians have a right to be a free people in their own land. You know, I'm going off script here for a second, but before I came here, I met with a group of young Palestinians from the age of 15 to 22. And talking to them, they weren't that different from my daughters. They weren't that different from your daughters or sons.
All kids around the world are all the same, man. There is no color for kids. They're all our kids. They're all beautiful. We all have the responsibility to work with them and to develop a scenario where they can live peacefully, coexisting with their neighbors forever.
I honestly believe that if any Israeli parent sat down with those kids, they'd say, I want these kids to succeed. I want them to prosper. I want them to have opportunities just like my kids do. I believe that's what Israeli parents would want for these kids if they had a chance to listen to them. And
ናይ ኢትዮጵያ ደቂ ክመሃሩ እንደልዮም ናይ ትግራይ ደቂ ክመሃሩ እንደልዮም ናይ ኦሮሞ ቆልዑ ክመሃሩ እንደልዮም ናይ ሶማልያ ናይ ጅቡቲ ኣምፂኻ ነዚኦም ድማ ጥቅን ዘብል ውግእ ሕጂ ከድልዩ ድሕሪ እዚ ኩሉ ሕውየታ የድሊ ድዩትም ደቂ የኢትዮጵያ ቻይልድ እና የኤርትራ ቻይልድ አብረው ሲራቡ ካያችሁ የኢትዮጵያ ልትወስዱ ነው ማለት ነው። ክልቲኦም ደቅኹም ክልቲኦም ደቅና ደማቱም ሰማ አቢ በስመ አብ በል በጫኽ በስመ አብ
talk to them. I believe that. Now, only you can determine what kind of democracy you will have. But remember that as you make these decisions, you will define not simply the future of your relationship with the Palestinians, you will define the future of Israel as well.
Likewise, አቢቹ አሁን የምትወስደው ስቴፕ ጠቅላላ ዲሞግራፊው የኤርትራና የኢትዮጵያ ናይ ክልቴና ሃገራት ምትእምማን ሕውነታዊ ምስራሕ ኩሉ ክዘርጎን ንሕና ጥራሕ ኮና ንርከብ ኢትዮጵያ ንስውን ክልከሙ እዮም ኣብዚ ከምኡ ዝብል ዘሎ እምበኣረይ ንፓለስቲኒየንስ ኣፃቢብካ መሓስ ራይዶኒ ናይ ህይወት ናታቶም ንመፃእን ናይ ህይወት ናይ አይሁዳውያን ንመፃእን አብረው እንዳይኖሩ ማድረግ ብቻ ነው መበጥበጥ ብቻ ነው ሶሉሽን አኾነ Both of them have to live peacefully. Both of them have to coexist peacefully. There is no other solution here. That's what the president was saying.
As Ariel Sharon said, I'm quoting him, "It is impossible to have a Jewish democratic state at the same time to control all of Eretz Israel.
Barantailu, it's impossible. Democracy of Israel, Alani, Kezelka, at the same time, so what you hear, but I'm interesting. It's impossible. Democracy Aragallo, but the Aragallo, Agreustia, Yelela Gadobo control the Maragachilum, I hold him Huluk to myself. Majamariatic Aranino Huletania the Mak, and tell you, Kulik go to Kobanifaka, you look about the president again.
If we insist on fulfilling the dream in its entirety, we are liable to lose it all.
كل نجر كساري كاري نخل نجر تدل خايو بين خايز. We have to be careful as to what we desire. That's all the president is saying, right?
Or, from a different perspective, I think of what the novelist David Grossman said shortly after losing his son, as he described the necessity of peace. A peace of no choice, he said, must be approached with the same determination and creativity as one approaches a war of no choice.
important ነገር ዘሎ peace በሃል ነገር precious ሰላም precious ነቲ ንሰላም ምድላይ ኣዚኻ ምድላይ ልክዕ ከምቲ ጦርነት መፂእኳ ትከላኸሎ ክንዱ ዓይነት ምዝግጃው የድል ብላሎ ስኢልካ ኾነ ክልቲኡ ባላንስ ክገብር ክኽእል ኣሎ it has to be balanced for people to coexist peacefully, ladies and gentlemen. They have to love one another. Maybe they don't have to, but they have to tolerate one another, to address both needs from the different angles of the eyes. Centrism is the best. Centrism. Whatever you call it, at the center. Be just to both sides of the conflict. Be just to both sides of the contradiction. And then the world can live peacefully after that. Thank you very much. And let's continue. Okay, and let's go.
Now, Israel cannot be expected to negotiate with anyone who's dedicated to its destruction.
Yes.
But while I know you have had differences with the Palestinian Authority, I genuinely believe that you do have a true partner in President Abbas and Prime Minister Fayyad.
Nobody can accept the destruction of Israel. Nobody can. But definitely it's a balanced coexistence. That's what everybody's looking for. Israel kidimsis zidali tolo nurusu kidimsis zidali. Komo khonen ግን ክልቲኦም ብሓባር ክነብሩሎም ይዝብዘሎ ብሓባር ክነብሩ ዘይኾነ ስኒ ነናቶም ሒዞም ተሰማሚዖም ክነብሩ ክኽእሉሎም ይዝብዘሎ.
And they have a track record to prove it. Over the last few years, they have built institutions and maintained security on the West Bank in ways that few could have imagined just a few years ago. So many Palestinians, including young people, have rejected violence as a means of achieving their aspirations. There is an opportunity there. There's a window.
እቲ ዘሎ ፀቢብ ነገር ንዑ ተፃቢብካ ኣቲኻ ሰላምኻ ክተምፅእ ዘለካ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ እቶም ሰባት ኣብዚ ዓለም ሰላም ተዘይመፀ ህይወት ክጠፍእ ስለ ዝኾን ንብረት ከዓኑ እዩ መን እዩ ንመን እሞ ክትምስስ ከይተደምሰስ.
Which brings me to my third point. Peace is possible. It is possible.
Well, definitely ኣመንጎና ናብ ኢትዮጵያውያን ድማ ፒስ ፓስብል እኳ ምንም እኮ ዘባእስ ነገር የለን። ጭንቀትካ ዳምፕ ክትገብሮ ምንድን ነው የሚያጣላቸው? የሚያጣላ እኮ የለም። ያቢቹ ምንድን ነው ወጠጤነት ነው ወይስ አፄነት እኮ ነው ያልገባን። ፒስ ፓስብል Ladies and gentlemen, ለሰላም እንሂድ ሁላችንም።
I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I can't even say that it is more likely than not, but it is possible.
I think this is a beautiful picture, man. Peace. Both flags equally respected. Both lives equally appreciated. Both ideas fairly accommodated. This is what peace is supposed to be. This is what Ethiopians and Eritreans have to be. And now comes the Konkonalan. Nanat Kahiska. And that's Hagakaska.
I know it doesn't seem that way. There are always going to be reasons to avoid risk. There are costs for failure. There will always be extremists who provide an excuse not to act.
كل ጊዜ ኣኽረርቲ ነፍጠኛታት ክህልዎ ደፍንትሊ ልስልስ ኢልካ ምርኣይ እምበር ስቑልካ ዶ ክትዳፋእ ትኽእል ኢኻ ኣይትኽእልን ኢኻ ሰላም ዘምፅእ መራሒ ጥራሕ እዩ ዝዕወት ሰላም ህይወት ስለ ዝኾነ
I know there must be something exhausting about endless talks about talks and daily controversies and just the grinding status quo, and I'm sure there's a temptation just to say, enough. Let me focus on my small corner of the world and my family and my job and what I can control. But it's possible.
ተስፋ ምቑራፅ ክህሉ ኽእል እዩ ዓቕልኻ ምፅባብ ክህሉ ኽእል ሰላም ግን ብጣዕሚ ፓስብል ኣብ መንጎ ፍልስጥኤምን እስራኤላውያን ንብለኩም ኣሎ ሰብኣይ ኣባና እሞ ዋላ ሓንቲ እኮ ይዘባሰየለ ምንም ነገር እኮ ይዘባሰየለ እቱም ሰባት
Negotiations will be necessary, but there's a little secret about where they must lead. 2 states for 2 peoples.
خلاص ክልተ ሃገራት ኣሎ ንኽልተ ህዝብታት ናብኡ ክኸይድ ክኽእል ኣሎ እዚ ህዝቢ ዝብለኩም ኣሎ ኣባና ድማ መፂኡ ዘሎ ጣጣ ትሪእዎ ኣለኹ እዚ ናይ ኣብይ ላዕልን ታሕትን ስኢልካ ናይ ኣኒማሊስቲክ ዝኾነ ተሓሓዝ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያን ኣብ ኤርትራን ድማ ነናትካ ሒዝካ ጥራሕ ክኸውን ዝኽእል ኤሪትሪያን ሶማልያን ከምኡ ኤሪትሪያን ጅቡቲን ከምኡ ሶማልያን ኢትዮጵያን ከምኡ ጅቡቲን ኢትዮጵያን ከምኡ ስለዚ ደቂ ኤሬ እዚ ትምህርቲ እዚ ንኽመሃሮ ኣብይ ተስፋ
2 states for 2 people.
ክልተ ሃገራት ንኽልተ ህዝብታት ይብለኩም ኣሎ ክልውጥዎ ይኽእሉ ዶምስ ንዘለዓለም ክትበኣስ ተኾንካ ግን እንዳተዳምኻ ክትነብር ኢኻ ማለት እዩ
There will be differences about how to get there. There are going to be hard choices along the way. Arab states must adapt to a world that has changed. The days when they could condemn Israel to distract their people from a lack of opportunity or government corruption or mismanagement, those days need to be over. Now,
definitely Israel comes geratina Israel disturbed our societies. Israel stopped us from development. Excuse of the Arab world has to stop so they can concentrate on their people and development of the countries. Israel comes geratina እንዳበልካ ምኽንያት ክተርፋሎ ቶ ምዕራብ ንኽምዕብሉ ሃገሮም ሒዞም ብለኩም ኣሎ እስከ ትኻሊ ቾይስ እንታይ
now's the time for the Arab world to take steps towards normalizing relations with Israel.
Absolutely. ዕራብ ድሕሪ ሕጂ ምስ እስራኤል ኖርማላይዝ ክገብሩ ክኽእሉ ኣሎ ተፈጢሩ እዩ ተሃገር ተታሒዙ እዩ እቲ መሬት ተኻፊሎሞ ሒዞም ኣሎ እስራኤል የላን ክትህሉ የብላን ገዲፋቶ ከይድ ኣለዋ እንዳበልካ ግን ዝኸውን ኣይኮነን the Israelis have already maintained the country okay securely having it under their control and that is their country we have to respect that everybody has to respect that that's where everything starts.
Meanwhile, Palestinians must recognize that Israel will be a Jewish state.
And definitely, the Israelis must be recognized by the Palestinians without hesitation.
That Israelis have the right to insist upon their security.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Israelis must recognize that continued settlement activity is counterproductive to the cause of peace, and that an independent Palestine must be viable with real borders that have to be drawn.
حقيقي إسرائيل دما إذا expansion تتوقع እንዳኸድካ ወሪርካ እዚ ናተይ ይበሃል ኣብቲ ዌስት ባንክን ጋዛን ዝበሃል ቦታ ኣብኡ ድማ ናይ ፓለስቲንያን መሬት ክኸውን ክኽእል ኣለዎ ዘሎ እንዳወረርካ ፒስ ከምፅእ ክትብል ኣይትኽእልን ኢኻ እንዳጠመትካ ጥምተካ ኣለኹ ኢልካ ኮፍ ኢልካ ክትዕልል ኣይትኽእልን ኢኻ ሕጂ ንሕና ንኣብይ ክንኣምኖ ይንኽእልን ኢና ሰንቢድና ኣለና ምናልባት እውን ክዋጋእ ደሊ ኸውን ከምኡ እዩ ዝመስል ዘሎ ግን ከይመፅእ ከሎ እቲ ጦርነት ክነጠንቅቆ ካብ ለባማት ንኽመሃር ኢና ኢና ነምፅኦ ዘለና ዝደጊኤ ብኻልእ
So, what are your thoughts on Barack Obama's statement? Do you believe there will ever be peace between Israel and the Palestinians?
መቼም እቲ ሰብኣይ ሓሳቡ ቅሪቡሎ ማለት እዩ እቲ ፕሬዚደንት እዚኣቶም እዮም ኣብ ማእኸል መፂኦም ሰላም ከምፁ ዝኽእሉ እቲ ዘሎ ጎንፂ ንኣሜሪካ ጓኒፍዋ ዘሎ ምስ እስራኤል ምስ ገለመለ እህድእ ከብርዎ ዝኽእሉ እዚኦም እዮም ናይ ሂማኒቴርያን ሓደ ሰብ እዚ ዘረባ እዚ ሚልዮናት ከድሕን እዚ ዘረባ እዚ ንኣብይ እውን እዚ ዝገብሮ ዘሎ መከራ ጠጠው ንኸብል ኣምላኽ ይሓግዞ ተዘየለ ኢትዮጵያንስ ባዕሎም ድማ ከይካፈልዎ ነቲ ሓሳስብ ምክንያቱ ምስ ኣምሓሩ እዩ ሰላም ክገብር ዘለዎ እምበር ንዓታቶ ክሕጉስ ኢሉ ናባና ንዓና ክጭፍልቐና ከምኡ ዝጭፍለቕ ህዝቢ እውን ስለዘየለ ሳዕቤኑ ብርቱዕ ስለ ዝኾነ ኣብዚ ነገር ዝበኣር ክንኣትዎ ትኾንና ዝመከራ እዚ ብኡ ተሳሒብና እምበር ንሕና ደሊናዮ ከምዘኾነ ኢትዮጵያውያንን ንሕናን ክንርድኦ ንደሊ ደቂ የሬ ምፅራፍ ኣይድልን ምፃእ ቦክሲ ገለ ኖ ንሕና ብሓይልና ኮና ንተኣማምን ንሕና ብሓቅነትና ጥራሕና ንተኣማምን ስለዚ ርግኣት ከድሊ ኩልኹም ኤርትራውያን ግን ጠምትዎ እዚ ነገር እዚ ድሕሪ መንግስትና ኣለና ኣብዚ ሰላም ክነስእ ደሊ ዘሎ ሰብኣይ ስለ ዝኾነ ስለዚ ኣቢቹ ተጠንቀቅ ፕሊስ ተጠንቀቅ ምክር ስማመን ዲስትራክሽን ከመጣ በኋላ እንደገና መታረቅ ምናምን ምንም ነገር አያመጣ የሰው ህይወት መጀመሪያ የሀገር ሰላም መጀመሪያ ስለዚህ ሰላም ለኢትዮጵያ ሰላም ለሱዳን ሰላም ለሁሉ ዓለም ለሶማሊያ ለጅቡቲ ሰላም ለአቢይ ድማ አዚ ሰላም ለኢትዮጵያውያን አሲ ኔክስት ታይም